remodeled this clevis to be stronger. I made the base of it thicker, and then I also printed it upward, so like the z-axis, like going upward, the z-axis or whatever. So now it's stronger when it's like this. So this should be pretty good. And I have flow controls and everything, and I got more so that I'm gonna hook up the rest of the flow controls, and I made some other parts that we can modify and fix things up. Put the 632 bolts into this clevis. We're gonna try this out a second time. Okay, so here, if you would have known what my night was like, it was wild, like literally insane. I don't even know where to begin. It was crazy. Okay, so I now have a new clevis on here, so now this no longer is floating. Uh-oh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything will be alright if you keep me next to you. You don't know about me, but I think you want to. Everything will be alright if we just keep dancing like we're 22. Tonight's the night that we forget about the heartbreak. It's time. Uh-oh, I don't know about you. Okay, anyway. See this thing here? That is called a C-clip, or the bane of my existence, and you really can't tolerate them unless you have these things. Shout out to my friend who told me to get these things, because like I would be struggling like hell if I didn't have these little pliers. So these pliers are basically reverse pliers that instead of like going the other way, it goes, you know, it opens when you squeeze them, and it allows you to take off these stupid things. So I am reassembling this because it doesn't work, as you could see from the last video. So I came up with a new mechanism. Not sure if that's gonna work either, but you know, this is all trial and error, so we're just gonna figure it out. To get this entire arm assembly off, I need to undo this shaft collar, and then the whole thing should slide off, and then I'm able to take this off and replace it with the new thing that I made. So let me do that real quick. So I got the shaft collar off, and like, I don't know how the hell I got this on, because... Oh, I did it! It's because I turned the camera on. It's literally because I decided to film, because I was struggling before. But, okay, I got this off. So now I can do some changes. This bearing needs to come off now. I know why. It's because there's a hole here. I'm gonna get the Dremel. You know, wait, I might not need the Dremel. I might just use sandpaper and do it by hand, because I forgot I drilled a hole like an idiot. There's like no reason for that hole to be there. I really need to learn to check the footage earlier, because you literally couldn't see my face. So anyway, I drilled the hole here for no reason. It doesn't need to be here, I just did. So I sanded the edges here so that it would be smooth, so that I can get this bearing off. I also learned through Amazon reviews, because the actual product description didn't say anything about this, the flow controls are one way. So when I was testing out the movements, and some of them were controlled, and then like there was slamming, like there was either one was controlled and one wasn't, it's because if they're facing the wrong way, it doesn't work. So they have to face the right way. But there's nothing on the actual control itself. There's like a little diagram, but you're not like supposed to know until you try it out. Because I didn't get the footage of my face in the other video where I was telling the Discover Bank story, I want to tell the Discover Bank story with my face in the video. I opened a Discover high yield savings account, and I told my parents about this last weekend when I came home. This weekend, I come home and my mom goes, "Oh, did you open a Discover account?" And I said, "Yeah." And my dad was like, "Yeah, she threw out your credit card." I didn't know I was gonna get a credit card because I simply was just opening a savings account. But like, that's really funny. And now she's like, "Oh, well, you're gonna have to call Discover tomorrow and tell them that your mom threw out your credit card." So that was very fun and exciting. Is this ever gonna come off? It's like almost there. You know, I might hammer this off if I can't do it manually. Hold let me get distracted and do this instead. So that's like really funny, and that's not the only card story that I have, because I have a Target Red card. It's like a debit card, and you get 5% off your entire Target purchase every time you go. And I threw out my Red card, I think my freshman year of college. I don't know how that happened, and I was so embarrassed to call because I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to tell someone I threw it out. But luckily it was automated, and they sent me a new card in a week. So this whole throwing out cards seems to be a continuous thing. So that was Yoshi's Discover Bank story. Instead of trying to get the bearing off, I realized I can just take this out. Look at how much easier that was. And then I can unscrew this and pull the bearing out the other way. And hopefully it comes off the other way. So that's what we're gonna do here. I finally got this bearing off. That was a nightmare. I ended up putting it in the vise and then just putting my full force into it, and I finally got it off. So that was crazy. So let's review the mechanism that didn't work. Because part of designing things is trying things out and then realizing they don't work and figuring out why they don't work and how you can improve. So I wanted to try to do a linkage system, which in my head, it seemed like it would work. A linkage system is where one thing pushes on another and it supposedly creates a rotational motion somewhere else. That did not work with how I designed this. So I came up with another part that's completely one part, and I don't know if this is gonna work. I might have to do some more revisions. That's the whole trial and error process of designing things. So I thought this one was too short, but I still brought it just in case. This one I'm gonna try out. I have it to where it'll be on the arm like this, and then I hope this will do something of, I don't know, like I gotta figure it out. It seems difficult, so I don't know. I'm just gonna try and figure it out, but just wanted to show this is what my attempt of a solution is. It might have to go through a million other revisions before I'm done with it. Basically, this just slides on like this, and then I can put a bolt through here. I'm gonna bolt this in, and then we're just gonna see how it goes. This bolts back into the upper arm. I just wanted to show how I finally brought a small ruler, because I'm always complaining about how there's no rulers down here and I never bring one, and I finally brought one. So it is fantastic. I can finally work somewhat more conveniently because the ruler is small. So just want to show that I finally brought one. I have drilled the hole, and as you can see, that is pretty centered. Okay, I learned, and I knew this, I'm just impatient. You have to start small and gradually increase the hole. If you start really small, then the hole will be centered, and then you just make it bigger as you continue to replace the drill bits, and then you make the hole bigger and it's centered. Okay, past me is very impatient. And I mean, when you're drilling a ton of holes consecutively, you know, you get really impatient, and then you rush things. You use a drill bit that's too big, and then that's why your holes are uncentered. But as you can see, this hole is pretty centered because I actually was patient about it. And now what's super cool is I'm gonna place the cylinder like this. I'm just gonna put this through, and it'll be like that. Although this is not long enough, I'm gonna have to get one that's longer than that. I'm just gonna use this bolt for now. I think this is 5/16. I will replace it with a rod that's 5/16 at some point. I've been saying that for everything. I feel like I have to, because I feel like people will be like, oh no, but you need to, like, no threads. I know, no threads. Okay, but for right now, I'm just gonna proof of concept. Okay, I have got this assembled. Look at how nice that turns. I wish all the rods fit perfectly in the bearings. It's not easy because there's a lot of rods that their measurement is off by like the 10th decimal place, and that cannot happen to fit in a bearing. Like, it needs to be incredibly precise. The measurement needs to be precise to like the 100th place. And I have measured some of the diameters of rods, and they're just either slightly too big or slightly too small, and that is an issue. So it's like, it's a quality control issue or whatever. It's not easy, like, to get it exactly how you want. But now I'm just going to see how this goes and put this on here. So we can attach this. We'll do that for now. I really like how smoothly that turns. That is really nice. And then let's put this through. And I'm gonna do this by putting on a nut. First, I need to put another one here. You basically do the same thing with regular rods, but you use shaft collars instead of bolts to position this in place how you want it. This is exactly how Creative Engineering mounted their cylinders. You adjust it to the height that you want this to sit at, and you kind of just, you position this where you want the height, and then you put one on the bottom. I'm gonna put a washer in between that. Oh, I don't think I have actually. Oh wait, I do. I was like, I'm not sure if I have a washer that's big enough to go around that, but actually I have one more. Then I'll need to go get more. I'm gonna need to get more washers, so maybe I'll take a trip to Home Depot this weekend because I am on break, so I can do that. And then you do this, and then now with this adjusted, it's at the height of the height that you want this to be mounted at. That's what Creative Engineering does too, which I did this on my own before even knowing that they did, so that was like pretty cool to know that that's how they do it too. But check this out. I think this is gonna work, guys. I'm very happy about this. I thought this might have been too short, but check out that measurement. Check out that clearance right there. I have high hopes for this one. So let's attach this to the body and see how it goes. The one thing that's a little strange is I'm not sure how I feel about the arm like naturally being like that. I want it to go this way. So what do I need to do to fix that? Let me see. Let me think this through. I need to think this through. So I'm thinking of having it naturally inward like that. And then when this extends, it'll push it out like this. And then when it retracts, it'll go like this. And then when it extends, it'll go like that. And then retract, it'll go like this. I think that'll be good. So to do that, I'm just making sure that you can even see. To do that, I'm just going to make a mark. I think if I do this, it won't hit the cylinder there. I can mark a hole there. Are you seeing that? You are. Okay. Mark a hole here, because then I can do this. So this will be hopefully like that, and then this. We'll have it go out like this, and then this will have it go in like that, and then that won't hit this rod, hopefully. Should I do that? Oh, I need to move this, make this hole a little more. Let me make it a little more like right here. Even though I was able to get a single bolt through this the first time around, I don't know what happened the second time around, because you have no idea how long I've been working at this, and these are actually 2 short bolts on either side, I don't know what happened in the process of things. Like, I think I was working on this for something like 30 minutes, but you know, it's fine because I'm listening to music, so it's good. But we have this now, and I'm going to reattach it to the body. Without further ado, let's put this back. I can't believe I spent like a majority of the time dealing with getting this bolted on. I really don't know what the hell the problem was there. But whatever, nonetheless, it is done. Isn't it strange how this is my form of relaxation, is working on things? I genuinely can't actually sit still. It's honestly crazy. I am literally so happy right now because my second try, it works. I can't believe it because I was like, knowing me, it's probably gonna take a few tries. Look at. That's gonna work now. I changed it to a single part. I don't know what you want to call that, like a link. And now it works. Do you know who I found out I look like? I look like Mowgli from the Jungle Book because my hair has grown out so long. So, you know, we just be in Mowgli until Saturday when I can get this cut, and then we won't be Mowgli anymore. I am going to take this entire middle rod out because I created a new head turn mount. I have two with two different lengths. One has an additional 1/4 inch because I want to see which one works better. I designed these with the length of the cylinder in mind to be able to turn the clevis, so they should work. But I need to take the rod out to take this out, and then also I need to drill a hole where this is gonna be because this moves with the rod. So there needs to be a hole in the rod so that this moves with the rod, you know? Once I'm able to weld, like if I can like start welding, that'd be like fantastic, save a lot of time. But it's okay, we're just drilling holes and stuff while we're at it. It's honestly crazy how much I work. I don't like sitting still and doing nothing. I absolutely hate doing nothing. I think the reason why I didn't like being a kid was because I wasted so much time in school, but I could have been doing something. Like, I didn't like how you just sat in class and you'd be in school for like 7 hours, 8 hours a day, and you wouldn't get to do anything. I'm like, I want to do stuff. I constantly like to do things, and I don't like sitting still doing nothing. So most people think I'm crazy with how much how long I work, but this is relaxing to me. So it's actually not relaxing at all for me to sit still and do nothing. Like, even when I watch YouTube a lot. I'm not just sitting watching YouTube. I'm either painting, building something, or doing something else while watching YouTube because I simply cannot do nothing. It's actually impossible. I don't think it's in my DNA to do nothing, and I think that's what made me want to be an adult so bad, is because I'm like, I need free time in my day. I have no free time in my day to do anything. Anyway, that was the rant. Mowgli hairstyle. Okay, I'm gonna take this whole thing out. We're gonna do this. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. So what I have to do right now is I have to mark where these need to go. So what I have to do is I just have to place them on the rod, and then from there I can measure out how the cylinders will act and stuff to know what angle they should be and at what height they should be on the rod. So I'm going to do this for right now, and then I'm going to take a Sharpie and we're going to estimate how this needs to be. This one, I know already though, this clevis needs to face this way, because this clevis is going to face this way because I have the cylinder coming at it from here. So now I just got to do some marking up and figure it out. It's really challenging to film this in a way where you can see it easily. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do my best. But here you could see this mount. Let me check to see if you can see it. You can somewhat see it, okay? There's this mount that I put here. Can you see that? Hold on. Okay, so this mount, I just temporarily put a long bolt. This is a 5/16 bolt in here, just so I can get an idea of how this cylinder is going to be mounted eventually. I don't have the bearing in this yet. There will be a bearing. So I'm just going to kind of imagine this, you know, place it how I think it'll be. I think like this height would be really good. So I'm probably gonna mark this, like I like this height here. And I think the cylinder would be fine if it's mounted just like this. So with that now figured out, I'm gonna leave that like that. And then I am going to mark where this is. I'm just gonna do like a top and then a bottom, like. Okay, and now that marking will be good for knowing where this top clevis is going to be, because I like the way that is. The angle will be, that can be adjusted once everything's together, but let me show this again. If I have this here, and I completely measured out this new mount considering the length that the cylinder is with the center of the mount that I have on the back of it. And I measured this out so that it would be able to reach this clevis and be able to go in and out. So let me see how that would go. So I just went and put these quick disconnects on here so now I could pull this in and out. Because if you do that with the plugs, it's not going to be able to do it because you can't let air in and out. Why am I moving my hands so much? Anyway, I don't know why I'm moving my hands so much, but let me show this. So if I did this and then now have this like here, I can kind of imagine how this will look. I should get another bolt so that I can really imagine it. All right, so I hear your voice and feel you near. Within these words I finally found you. And now that I know that you are still here, I will sing no requiem tonight. Why should I have a heavy heart? Why should I say I'll keep you with me? Why should I go and fall apart for you? I will sing no requiem tonight. Oh, 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 oh. I hope you guys actually don't mind the singing because I really like to sing and I feel like it just goes unacknowledged in my life, so I kind of just spew it in to what I do best because, you know, everyone appreciates the engineering but nobody appreciates the singing. So if you want to hear actual like covers, I've always wanted to do covers and I have a really nice microphone because I've had intentions of doing covers of songs. So let me know because I really like singing and I feel like it's just an unappreciated part of my life. But anyway, I am just looking at this and seeing how this goes. Obviously this isn't like tightened on here, so it's not gonna move exactly like how it would, but like I like it. I really like it. So we're just gonna doobie-doo with that. Okay. Because this is so hard to show on a tripod, I can't seem to get a good angle. I'm just gonna show you here right now. This piece is what the other head turn cylinder is going to be on. So I'm just going to use this temporarily. This was not made for it, but I just want to test out the length. See how long it needs to be for the cylinder to be mounted properly. For this, the clevis over there. The clevis right here. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so the mount that I showed you that I'm using just for length's sake is actually the perfect length, because if I center the whole of the cylinder mount with the mount on the body, look, it perfectly reaches out here. And then when it extends, it's able to push it out. How did that work out? You know, I feel like through all the things that didn't work, the universe is kind of like, I'll give this to you. I'll give this to you. Between fixing the arm and these head turn cylinders, it's like, you know, the universe knew what my drive home was like, and they were like, you know, you need a break. Yeah, I need a break. So, yeah, that's great to know. I will make this mount. Let me take it out. I will make this mount the exact same length as this piece. So this piece is 4 inches. I just wanted to show real quick that if you're cutting a threaded rod, I saw online to put 2 bolts where you want the cut, and then when you cut it with bolt cutters, it won't ruin the threads. So I think that did actually work, because now this bolt is still able to screw onto this, or nut. This nut is still able to screw onto this, so I think that method does work. I just put this in the vise. This is the other side, because I wanted to see if this can still go. I put it on the vise and then twisted the nut with a wrench, and it does. So that tutorial thing that I saw on YouTube actually is right. Why is it suddenly not focusing? So here is the back mount. Look at how the bearings fit so nicely. I am always so happy every time my measurements are right and it fits perfectly. Like, it's so satisfying, even though I know I intentionally did it all like that. I did drill these holes to be slightly bigger, so now that this can fit through, so now I'm able to just fit this all the way through. I wanted this to face this. Okay, let me take it off and now make it face this way. Let's try that again. I want this sideways, so then I want this like this. There we go. That's how I want it. I want it to do this. That way. And then have the ports on the side, so then the air lines can go down like this, and then it's not up and then side. It can go like on the side. It'll be easier. I thought I would show how to install these flow controls, and then I'll show one and then I'll do the rest. But this is what they look like, and I think, if I'm right from figuring it out, the direction that they're supposed to go, there's an image here, and I think as long as it's inserted to where the air is going through this way, I think that's right. I'll find out really quickly what's right, because it's either gonna work or it's not. But basically, the more you screw this out, you let more air in, and then the more you screw it down, you restrict air from going in. Also, this tape is here because I can't stand the way the holes look. So what I do is I just take out the existing hose. I'll insert this in, so I think this is the right way. If they're all the wrong way, I swear. I think what I'll do is I'll probably test it out and make sure which way is the right way. I get some more hose, and then I cut a little bit of it for where the flow control is gonna go. Like this, I'll cut a little bit like here, and then I'll take this hose, connect it to the other end of it, and then connect it to the cylinder. And then once it's in, and then I kind of just adjust this, because now that the length is a little longer, I just will adjust this. I make it closer to the actual cylinder because it's a little more accurate the closer it is to here than if you put it right at the valve bank. Like, A lot of times you'll see the flow controls all at the valve bank because it's easier to access them and change them out and stuff, but they're more accurate the closer they are to the port of the cylinder. So that's why I'm doing it like that. I think animatronics look cool without the cosmetics anyway. I'll give you a little tour of how these airlines are just hooked up. They're literally just twist tied, or not twist tied. What are these things? These things, the plastic things, those things. They're attached to the body like that. I just have them here, and then you want to wrap them around the arm to the best of the ability because you want the arm to be a separate entity than the body. If you don't have these going up and over, then you won't be able to have the arm be separate and the hoses are going to get everywhere. Same with this side. I have it wrapped upward around, and then they all centralize and go down here. This is a mess. That'll be fixed. That will not look like that, okay? That's just what it looks like on the bottom. But you can see the organization of them like this, like how I make them go up and over, and then down the torso, up and over, and then down the torso. And then you can go even further and organize them more by like clumping them together and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, that's that. So here's what I've done for right now. I have plugged up the blink and head nod because the head's not currently on here. And I want to test out the movements with the flow controls, make sure they're facing the right way. So I plug those up so that we don't lose air there. And then the body lane is still plugged up because I want to change that cylinder out and I don't want to deal with this and everything. But I want to test out now that I have more flow controls on the cylinders that are here right now. The head's off because I'm working on the head turn like you have seen. So yeah, let's test it out. I want to make sure they're facing the right way. And then once I know which way they're supposed to face, I'm going to draw an arrow on them so that it's obvious, because I don't know why this is not obvious. I adjusted the flows. I got them all in the right direction. Some of them were in the wrong direction. So let me show you how things work with the flows. Well, I like that. That is pretty cool. Well, that's cool.
Neat.
Oh, that's cool. Give me the fingers.
I love the arm raise.
I love the arm raise, yeah.
And then the little arm twists that I put there. How it twists like that. That was very exciting seeing it work with the flow controls and everything. Like, let me tell you guys, this project is not even a year old. because December has not happened yet. So it's very exciting how much I have been able to accomplish and get working in such a short amount of time. So, you know, seeing all this unfold is very magical. It's very magical. And I marked up all of the flow controls to make it very obvious which way is the right way, because some of them I had incorrectly placed and that's why they weren't working. And I think it was the ones that were confusing where it's obvious that like the air, you know, goes up and stuff, but like when you have it going downward like this, you got to remember that the air is coming from this way. That dot is a Sharpie mark on my hand. But so I marked all of these with arrows. So now it should be very obvious to me that they're facing a certain way. So like here, like I have the arrows, and I was right about the side that the picture is on. So one side's blank. Let me show you one that's in better lighting. Here, one side's blank. There's nothing. Okay, seriously. Okay. There's nothing on this side, and then on the side that is correct, there'll be a picture. So I was right about that. You just gotta make sure that you gotta know the direction in which the air is going, and that's how it should be put on or whatever. So I don't know. I put the arrows there so that I know, and I'm pretty happy with where all the flows are adjusted at the moment. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then I'm not sure how much of the head I will get done this week. I mean, I'm on break, so maybe I will get it done. I at least know that I'll have one cylinder to put in there, because I don't know why the other one's not prepared, but it's not. So yeah, also this may not look like it, but it's just ever so slightly more organized and not as chaotic. Like, right? Doesn't it look not as bunched up? Okay, so these ones that are not going anywhere, that's the body lane, because I gotta figure out the body lane, and then maybe I will put the head back up on there eventually and adjust the flow. We can put flows on the head as well. We can adjust that and see how it all goes, but I'm very happy with everything. So yeah.